All right, have you got on air on your screen? Just make sure.
Yep.
Okay, so welcome to Meet the Streamer, episode 4. I am Binary. It's actually a carry-on. So we started this show back in, probably almost a month ago now, as part of our Gear Up weekend strategy of meeting all the streamers that we were having over our 72-hour stream, in fact. So we've now decided to carry this on, and I am delighted to have with me the Herb, Mr. Orange Hero Sage. How are you?
Hello. Doing really well. Thank you.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you, sir. We had a
I'm
great
thrilled.
fun last time. You were on our first show. So, now he has been promoted. He is now my co-host for this show. So I know most of the community will be over the moon for that, just so they don't have to listen to my boring voice on every show that we do. It's like, oh no, it's Brit again. But we are here, obviously, to introduce you to great content creators, right? People that have come through recommendations of people in the community or people that we've seen out on YouTube, Twitch, and it's just to bring, a different aspect or a different insight from outside of the DZR community and introduce, you to a broader mind of people to save you having to search and see if this guy's any good. We're going to tell you he's good because he comes with a recommendation. But we're going to introduce him. But what I'm actually going to do, because apparently he's a friend of Sage for a very long time, so I'm going to let Sage do the introduction for this.
For the myth, the man, the legend, the unstoppable force, Silus Wyvern. Me and Silus, we go back a long time. We're getting close to 20 years.
Just about, yeah.
20 years. Humble beginnings back in a grocery store. I think we both worked at Publix together for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, those were the good old days. But Silus has been there. He's been my computer gaming partner since we met. Yeah, again, going on to that 20 years. So
forever.
Yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled to have you on the show in this capacity after I've been slowly learning more and trying to get up to your level on the streaming. So, you're the man. Like, hey, you taught me everything I know. But anyway, Silus, please, how you doing, man? Are you excited to be here? I'm pretty thrilled.
Oh yeah, very excited. This is a new experience for me right here. So, just taking it in.
That's awesome. Yeah, man.
Well, that comes with a high recommendation, because I'll tell you right now, DZR, the community absolutely loves Sage. So if he's saying that he gets all this stuff from you, then this should be a very exciting show. So there we are, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. There's the three of us for the show today. Silus, first of all, Wyvern, you didn't play Lineage 2 at all, did you?
What's that now?
Would you ever play Lineage 2? No?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought your name came from that game. That was all. So where did your name come from?
Oh, jeez. I can't remember the exact specifics of it. It was after the original Xbox. I was setting up, I think, Xbox 360, and I wanted to change the tag I was using. A lot of my online names and stuff at the time. I had all these different ones for everything. I just wanted to go with something new. And so I played around with some different names. I was playing some different Star Wars games and other stuff at the time and whatnot. And I just kind of like mismatched a couple of names. I was pairing them up looking. I'm like, you know what? That kind of works. I like it. And I kept it, and I've had it ever since.
Oh, okay. Cool. Because Wyvern to me is a dragon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to play a lot of Final Fantasy XI online, and I was stuck with like the Dragoon class and whatnot. So I loved having the pet dragon in the game and stuff at the time. So.
And you went to that one from Phantom Reign, wasn't that your old?
Yeah, that was my original handle. Yes.
Yeah. So was it just a matter of trying to get it to change more for you were switching to Xbox games and you wanted to reflect some of your Star Wars background too? You
a little bit, yeah.
Didn't really work it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit
I
of
can
that,
relate.
and it was just, it was
I get
just,
it.
something a little bit more, I could mess with the spelling where I wouldn't have to constantly add a bunch of numbers to it all the time because it wasn't a name that a lot of people were using. It wasn't so basic, so I could use it almost anywhere, and wouldn't have to add 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 ABC after it just to still have this name. That gets annoying. So that made it much easier to have something that's a little bit more different like that.
That's a cool name. No, I actually liked it. I really like it. All right, so here's the boilerplate questions. Obviously, you've got a pretty established Twitch channel, right? I've also looked. You do have a YouTube channel as well, and I
Yeah.
noticed you've got some videos on there as well.
Yeah.
What actually got you into streaming in the first place?
Oh, run about the time of when the PS4 launched, actually just before I was looking into it. At the time, the PC I had was a little weak to be able to do any sort of capturing and things like that. I never might have built a new PC, so when the PS4 came out, the first thing I wanted to do was try this out. It's got the ability built into stream to Twitch. Gave it a go. I bought the camera with the PS4 and everything else, had it set up. And the first night on launch night, I was streaming in adult gaming community that I'm a part of, Gunslinger Gaming. Some of the guys wanted to see because they weren't able to go get the PS4 till the next day or whatever. So like, hey, I'm streaming, come watch, see what all I'm playing. I popped in some different games and it was a lot of fun, and that's kind of it took off from there. I enjoyed doing that, and I just kept doing it, and I learned different things as I went on, improving the quality of the streams, and eventually I built a better PC that could handle with the capture card and everything, so I could get a lot better quality and whatnot.
Yeah, so you made an interesting point actually, and I know Sage from when we've interviewed people, yourself when we had Pete on the show and myself the last couple of shows. It's interesting. It's not an uncommon way that people want to start streaming. They start streaming just to give it a go, and then they actually find that they enjoy the interaction from the viewers, right? So whether showing people how to do things or even just the voyeurism, right? You get off on people watching you.
I came for the intrigue. I stayed for the voyeurism. That's a pretty common story, though. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is it about that interaction that you enjoy the most? Obviously, you're streaming a game, and it's a little bit of a skill, right, to interact with people. I did a 24-hour stream, and I sucked balls. I was absolutely useless. I was so bad.
You're selling yourself short. 24-hour stream is not easy.
No, 24. Pulling a 24 is not easy at all.
But even after an hour, I'd the two screens, like chat over there and game there. I forgot about chat. I was hopeless. I was relying on the chatters just to talk among themselves. So what was it about that interaction for you that, if you can think back to when you first started, that thought, actually, I really enjoy this? What was there a moment that can you remember that tweaked you for that?
I don't know if it was a specific moment, but I think it was just when I had, like I said, I was part of Adult Gaming Clan. They were coming in, so I'd gamed, with these guys online before, but when they were coming and watching me play something, and they were asking me questions or joking around, we already kind of had a familiarity, and then eventually, you start getting people you don't know, and they come in, and they're interacting with them, and it's like all of a sudden it's like you got all these new friends, and everybody's just having a good time, and there you are, and so then maybe you get off track and start talking about some other game that maybe the same company created or whatever, and it just goes and goes and it feeds on itself, and just having a good time.
Yeah. Sage, you can testament to that, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I started for the intrigue and I stayed. I can relate to that in a big way, and for me, it's a lot less stressful of a first meeting because you've already got something established in common. Everybody's here for the same reason. Anybody that's showing up in your channel obviously wants to see what you're doing and how proficient you are at it. And once they start getting familiar with you, you start to feel like they're a part of your regular stream, and they
Right.
start to feel like they're a part of your regular stream, and before you know it, you're friends and you're playing other games, just like Silas said. It's a really quick and easy way to port into without any of the other things that seem to get in the way with like awkward social meetings in real life.
Yeah. The weird blind date.
Yeah, the weird blind date. Yeah.
I can go for a weird blind date right now.
That's part of your mantra right now, isn't it, Silas? What is it?
Keeping it casual, man. Keeping it casual.
Is that on your plentyoffish.com, is it? Casual encounters only. So what games do you stream there, Silas? What games get you go?
I do FPSs a lot. For a long time, I was playing the crap out of Killzone. That was like my Friday night stream. Every Friday night, Killzone on PS4. And eventually started streaming things like Helldivers, Infamous, so some action adventure games, the occasional RPG, but more often than not, it's usually either an FPS style or FPS RPG or an action game, so that's a little bit easier to get into. I also did do a couple of streams that were pretty actually fun with what's that game? I'm trying to think of it. Dead Nation. There we go. It took me a second to remember, because that actually has like the interactive part where if you turn it on, people can mess with the difficulty of the game and everything, and that gets really intense when they start spawning more zombie mobs and you're going through, and it's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with that one, but mostly FPSs and things like that are kind of what I stick to, or like I said, action adventure games. Nothing too slow.
Okay, so what is it about those games that draw you in, or find that they make an interactive stream for you? Is it why particularly those games would you choose to stream?
Part of it's because I already enjoy those games, so it's very, very easy for me to, if someone comes in and watches, for me to relate to them with it and talk about the game. It makes it very easy because that's I'm already relaxed. It's what I enjoy doing, so it's very easy to get into it. And then if someone's asking questions, things I can easily pass on information or tell them whatever about it. It flows very easily, I guess, is kind of what I'm getting at there.
I think the speed provides quite a bit of information too, as opposed to playing a smaller or a slower game. You've always got something coming at you, or something's always happening. Do you feel that makes it easier too?
Yeah. And I think the other thing is for me, before I started streaming, when I would watch streams, I've never been able to get into people, watching people playing stuff that's more like RTS types and things like that are a lot more slower paced in the strategy games and stuff like that. After a while, I want to fall asleep. I'd rather watch a guy playing something where stuff's blowing up, people are getting shot, stabbed, whatever, something's going on, So I guess that's another part of the thing for me that's just always been more kind of doing if I was a viewer, that's what I would want to watch. So that's what I'm playing.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to branch off just slightly because I'm going to tell you it's fluency. Basil did actually send me some notes on who you were, just so I could put some form of structure together. Otherwise, it would just be a bambling Englishman, basically, on a Thursday night. But one thing that actually got my interest a lot, now I'm actually a really big fan of this, and I'm gutted that the studio closed down, they're closing the studio down, was you're a Disney Infinity fan. Is that right?
Yes. I've really, really enjoyed that game. I thought it was a lot of fun. I didn't really get into the first couple of versions, but when they brought the Star Wars one, I had to give it a go, and they did a good job with it, as far as I liked how they did the combat system and everything. I thought it flowed really well, and it was a lot of fun. And when they just, when I saw the news that they were going to, they were canceling the game and there wasn't anything else produced, I was really sad about it because I was like, I figured they were making some money off of this thing, Star Wars and everything. You figured, why is this being shut down? But it's what it is sometimes.
Yeah. No, Well, I think the franchise on itself didn't do too well, but I thought I actually started playing from the first iteration. So I actually have the whole collection of like every single character all the way through.
Wow.
All through games. It was actually it's a way of me to get my daughter to play games. right? 'Cause it's Disney, right? It's all the Disney princesses and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's
Subtle.
yeah, subtle but forced, right? But a game like that would I really enjoy, especially when you can build your own game within it, right?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
teaching kids like the understanding of logic gates and game logic, and almost to the point of understanding logic through circuitry at that level, right? So I'd say you did a YouTube channel around that, or a YouTube show, is that right?
Yes, I did.
And do you still carry on doing that, or is that sort of phased that out now?
Yeah, that's kind of done. I haven't actually put up any new videos in quite some time. Once again, as I had mentioned earlier, I had some things going on in my personal life that just really needed my attention. So I stopped streaming. I stopped creating any content so I could deal with those issues and get past that point to where I could be in a better state of mind and then go back to doing all my creative things and now I'm there, so I've been kind of going through planning. Okay, this is what I want to do, and kind of taking a look at some of my past content, and saying, do I want to do something like that still? Do I need to make changes? What I want to do, and really take a little bit more time to kind of plan it instead of winging it.
Yeah.
Really kind of have more of a set plan with it moving forward, and what I want to do with it.
So what is it that's been driving you to get it back started again?
Well. A big thing is because, like I said before, I really enjoyed it, and until I got kind of too stressed out again with the personal life things, to where I had to stop doing what I enjoyed doing in order to deal with all that. And so now that the stress is calmed down, things are pretty well settled now. I want to go back to doing what I enjoy doing, and that's streaming and making content and things like that.
So you missed it. You missed it a little.
Yes. Yeah. I missed it. There we go. The simple explanation.
He missed people watching him play. That's what it is. So, obviously, you have a love for content creation, right? I think most of us here, or most of us in our community, have either a thirst for content or have an actual deep enjoyment for creating content, right? What to you makes good content?
That's a really a multifaceted answer on that one. It
It's a loaded
depends.
question. I do appreciate. I'm trying to make you talk a little bit more than me. So.
Well, I could talk. I'm a talker, so that's not a problem. As far as good content, that's very variable depending on the person being. Everyone has a kind of like a different level of what they consider to be a good content. But I think overall, part of it just has to do with when you're watching someone's video. You can kind of tell the difference between the guy that took the time to really put it together and took their time with it, and the guys that are just slapping stuff together real quick. And that makes a difference for me when I see someone that's being very passionate about what they're doing versus the lazy guy who thinks he's going to make a quick buck, I guess is the easiest way I can put that. Because you got the people out there like, oh, I can do this real quick, jump on it, and, could be big and make a bunch of money. Most of the time, their channels last a very short period of time because they get frustrated because it's terrible. It goes downhill. And then the other guys that maybe might take a little while to grow, but they have the good content, and it just keeps building and building, and they're a lot more enjoyable to watch. Whatever it is they make, whether it's they're into doing their Let's Plays, or maybe it's a video for showing somebody how to do things you don't know on Steam, or whatever the case may be. It really just depends, but there's always a quality control to an extent, as well as if when you're putting that content out, you want to do the best that you can with what you've got. So that makes a difference too. And again, you can kind of tell between the people that slack and the ones that really take the time to try to do the best they can with their videos.
Right. So name 3 things that you look for when you're looking for a YouTuber or a Twitcher.
Okay. Well, when it comes to say a Twitch stream,
and you can't say tits.
Casually, so long as it's casual.
I actually have a tendency to stay away from the quote-unquote Twitch whores because it's annoying as hell. The ones that are just showing off, and really their shows aren't that great. Their gameplay is terrible, and everyone's just there to. And I don't understand it because if you want porn, there's all kinds of sites. I can start naming some off. I mean, it's not hard to find instead of watching just some girl sort of almost show everything while she's kind of playing a video game terribly and talking horribly. No, it doesn't do it for me. No, what I generally look for is the.
He's a man.
Well, some of the ladies are actually good, but you can kind of tell the difference between the Twitch whores and the ones that are actually good. Unfortunately, the ones that are actually good generally have a little bit of a harder time
in trouble now
because of the because of the Twitch whores out there. So sometimes it makes it a little bit harder that way. But no, what I generally look for is I kind of have a tendency to kind of scroll further down the list. Like if I look for a specific game and look for the streamer that doesn't necessarily have a ton of viewers, but maybe has a few, somewhere between 10 and 20 perhaps, and drop in on their streams and see what they're doing, and I'll see what kind of quality are they interacting much, or are they just being dead silent and stone faced while playing a game and there's nothing happening because that's no. You want to be able to, you're there to not only watch the game but also interact with the person playing the game. So, part of what I look for there is again that interactivity is this person, you got to realize with the Twitch streamer there is a delay and everything, so sometimes it takes them a little bit of time to respond to you. But if you're sitting there for a very long time and trying to interact with them, and after a while there's nothing happening, then I usually click off and go somewhere else.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so someone's here.
So that's stream overlay and overall stream quality. That's really important. And then your second one there that you mentioned was
tits.
I'm actually taking notes here. But the interactivity piece, right?
Yeah.
The interactivity. Okay. Just recap.
Yeah, no, it comes up over and over again. Is that whole interaction, right? It is right. When I was playing, I was stone fit. I had that Gork look. Right, the look we are. Horrible.
Yeah, but you were also an hour 22, weren't you? By the time
hour 22, I was like,
Yeah.
See, there's where I try to when it comes to stuff like that. It can be difficult as a streamer. Like smaller streams are a little bit easier to manage that way, but sometimes you have to kind of remind yourself to look and see if you've got people chatting. The other thing sometimes I try to do is if I know I'm going to be doing a longer stream, is kind of schedule a couple little intermittent breaks, and sometimes during those breaks, take the time to, whether it's refill a drink or whatever, but then before I actually start playing again, sit down and talk with whoever's viewing and just kind of have a little bit of just direct interaction with them a little bit to kind of get myself back into that and then go back to playing the game. But that's just personally how I kind of manage that.
It's a really good idea.
It is a really good idea because chat can be really tough, right? If you get up to like 60 views, that thing can just be going tickling right through, right? And trying to keep up with that can be nigh on impossible.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know how some people do it where they've got like 5 to 1,000 or more views at a time, right? From an audience, what for you as a streamer? I'm not much of a streamer. Sage, you are. I think I did ask you this one, but Silus, from a viewer, what interaction would you like from them? What really gets you excited?
Well, for that again, I guess it's just them taking the time to either comment on the gameplay or what I'm doing, and again I try to do what I can to when I know I have people to get them to chat and talk with me. Essentially, usually I try to. Because sometimes you just get that people, they just lurk for a really long time. And so you always try to just kind of, if you get a chance to try to kind of bring them in, like, hey, I'm playing, I'm focusing, but, feel free to chat with me. I'm right here. I am paying attention to you. I'm here. And I want to talk with you and maybe, bring up some sort of a story, even if it's not game related, even if it's just something about my life or whatever, just to kind of get people talking. Because once you kind of get your viewers talking, it'll kind of take care of itself to a degree. Everybody will start. It's like kind of like an icebreaker, like Sage was saying earlier about like a date.
Yeah.
Get that icebreaker going. Sometimes you kind of need to do that to get people to interact with you, so that way you can keep it'll feed off of itself and you can keep that going.
And that means so much to the streamers too. Coming in and just if you're there, if it's just for 3 minutes, If it's just 3 minutes and the stream doesn't interest you, like that's totally okay. But when somebody says, hey, and takes a few minutes to at least give you an opportunity, to show what you're doing and how you're presenting yourself, like that means a lot.
Yeah, it does. It really gets you kind of hyped up to a degree. Hey, someone coming in and hanging out for a bit, and there you go.
Yeah.
So another thing that we touched on, we did mention it sort of pre-show, and you did touch on it before actually, and it's quite an interesting topic. So there are some really, from a content creation point, and you mentioned yourself that you like to go to find streamers and stuff that have almost a low follow or a low view count.
Yeah.
Do you find that the quality of there's a real difference in the level of quality of content in relative to the size of the creator or the amount of exposure? So if you're looking at a 15,000 view creator down to 20, only 20, is there a difference in that? Have you found there's a difference in quality and delivery?
Yeah, there can be. I mean, sometimes, yeah, it's not always 100% one way or another as far as how that works. But a lot of times, I find that when streamers get bigger, a lot of times the quality can sometimes suffer to a degree, because like you said, once they get you get a lot of people chatting, then there's not as much interaction that way, because maybe they just got a bunch of moderators taking care of the chat and they're just playing, which is all fine and dandy. But again, like I said, for me, I would rather directly interact with the streamer. Sometimes when they get that big, it's an issue where the smaller streamer who's still trying to come up is generally, if they've still got a decent follower base, is really trying hard to do the best they can, and you can tell they're putting their whole passion into what they're doing, and it's really great to see that when people are doing that. I've also noticed a lot of times the smaller streamers, not always, but a lot of times, because they don't have like Twitch partners and stuff, once they get their encoding options where they can stream whatever quality they want, and then it just gets transcoded all the time. Sometimes they still don't manage it. Well, there's like, okay, I'm gonna stream 1080p, whatever, but they don't really fine tune it, and it's not as good with a smaller guy a lot of times, because he knows you got to take the time to not only manage your bandwidth but keep your quality good, but you don't want to have your bitrate too high to where people can't watch your stream, because when you're smaller, you need to get people in, and there's a lot of people that might not have the fastest internet, or maybe depending on how far away they are from that Twitch server, that makes a huge difference into if they're going to be able to watch it or not. They get a lot of buffering. Even if you got a good show, they can't see it, they're going to go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So I've noticed that a lot of the smaller streamers, after a while, you learn real quick to try to manage that, so that way your people can see what you're doing. And so that leads to better quality.
Thank you for your help with that, by the
way. Yes, you're very welcome. I helped tweak that for you a little bit.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, great. Sage, have you got, or Basil, you got any particular questions, or has Susan69 dropped any questions into the mailbag? I'm not sure.
Oh my goodness, Susan69. You know what? Let me pull up the mailbag here. Silus, it's anecdotal, but I was just thinking about way back in the day when Sage lived on a boat. And I think you and I took out one of the little boats, the dinghy.
Yes, the dinghy.
And didn't we have a problem with it? It sank. I think it sank. We lost the engine, and it went down out in the middle of the Caloosahatchee River.
Yes, it did. And we ended up on that one little island for a little bit there. That's over not too far from the bridge.
Yeah.
This sounds like it's going somewhere.
Well, the cops and not only were the local police officers showed up, but also Florida Fish and Wildlife showed up, and the Coast Guard, and it was on the news. So we had quite a good time. Soaking wet being on television, it was great. It was fantastic.
And luckily for us, that was before everything was archived to the internet, so the footage is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, everything's on tape.
Amazing.
Yeah, good times. Good times. No, you know what? I'm not seeing anything else here. And honestly, I can't think of anything on top of my head.
All right, look. So we'll look to wrap it up to the show, because I think we've probably got about 40 minutes worth of good stuff there. Just sort of closing off. Obviously, you're gonna, we're introducing you to our community. If you could sum yourself up, and to what you offer as a streamer, what would that be as a synopsis of yourself as a streamer? There we go. 30 seconds.
All right, yeah. Basically, again, the different couple different game styles, the FPS and all that mostly, but also just a casual, more laid-back experience. I don't get too intense with anything. I try to keep it very fun and light, and just have a good time. It's just more like a group of friends hanging out, chilling, and just having a good time. Just light banter and just keeping it casual. That whole thing, just chill.
Brilliant. Perfect. Sage, what would you say? Obviously you know him. What's if you, as a viewer, as a voyeur, what would you say you get from his stream?
It's informative. Let me tell you, there's very few people that I've met in my life that are as technologically savvy as Silus here, and he's been, because he is so good at knowing all the details about just about anything technology. It's very informative. You can ask a lot of questions, and he answers them and in detail to help you either get through a spot or to, if you're having difficulty getting through it, whatever the case is, he's got an answer. And I really like that. I think it keeps the crowd engaged, and it definitely keeps me engaged. I always learn something every day. And matter of fact, I took a couple of notes just from when we were talking now, so a couple good ideas in there.
This is good information. Let's just put that down real quick.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
No, brilliant. Sure, dude. Yeah, you sound exactly like someone that I'd enjoy watching. With my pants on, though. So look, Joe, I'm going to sort of wrap it up there. So I think definitely got a feel for who you are, and I really appreciate you coming on the show, and I know Sage does. It's been reminiscent for him. But yeah, everyone in the community really needs to. We're going to post links as part of this video, obviously to Silas's Twitch stream. Where can we find you, and what addresses are you at, Silus?
All right. Besides Twitch, I'm also on Twitter regularly at Silus_Wyvern, just like my Twitch handle. You can also find me on YouTube. Unfortunately, my follower count on there isn't high enough that it has a specific channel thing, so it's that really, really long URL. But if you get on YouTube and search Silus Wyvern, it'll come up as top searches. So.
Read it out. No, don't read it out, joking. No, okay, so you're on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, you can type Silus Wyvern into YouTube, and it does come up with this glorious.
Right. So, yeah, all my graphics are the same everywhere, so it's not too hard to find me.
It's a pirate, right?
Yes, the pirate.
The pirate.
Yarr.
It's the pirate dragon. There we go. Sage, where can we find you, mate?
Still find me on Twitter and Twitch, the same handle, OrangeEuroSage, and coming soon to YouTube.
Ooh.
More officially, yes, at the same handle.
That was not an authorized plug, my friend. Well, we'll take it in post-edit. And obviously, I'm Binary. You can find me on YouTube, Google, where else? Twitter, Facebook, wherever. Binary, num. There we go.
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere. Everywhere and nowhere, because no one talks to me. But yeah, this is why I chose me this. Again, subtle pressure. So, hey guys, look, if you like the show, we're going to be doing this on a weekly basis, and hopefully bring you, more content creators, whether it be YouTube, bloggers, game writers, developers. We're going to introduce more people and help the community grow. If you are a content creator and you're listening to the show, just drop us a tweet, drop into our Discord, just send us, myself or Sage, a message, and we'd love to have you on the show. I know I've got a lineup already just from doing a tweet out on Twitter, so You know, let's just sort of, I'm trying to think of the word. Let's just sort of group up together and, you know, tackle gaming, right? It's a untamed beast, I find, of content creators. There's no other market like it, where there's just content creators over content creators, and you know, it's hard to see the wood through the trees. So hopefully this show will give you a little bit of light into some quality content creators, and thanks very much for listening. We'll see you next week. Cheers.
See you.
Don't go anywhere though. That was not a cue for you to leave. There we go. Right. There we go. Just uploaded. Boom. All audio. Hey,
nice.